I want to respond to what you said. I agree 100% with you that this crisis is being used as a pretext for clamping down totalitarian controls the same way that the COVID crisis was. And it's the same people. It's intelligence agencies. It's the World Economic Forum. It's the Billionaires Boys Club at Davos. And it's the same kind of cabal of people who will use every crisis to stratify society toward greater power for the super rich and greater power for the military, greater power for the intelligence apparatus, and less power for everybody else. And so my approach to this, Jordan, is that I have a personal belief that the climate crisis is real. I do not insist that anybody else share my belief, and I feel like Lundgren is correct in saying that the climate orthodoxy gets it wrong. That the carbon orthodoxy, the people who ascribe to that get it wrong. There are actually a lot more important things than carbon. That is, than carbon sequestration and geoengineering. There's habitat preservation, the most important thing we can do. We've forgotten completely about that because of the obsession with reducing carbon. There's regenerative agriculture, which is absolutely critical, including for carbon sequestration, but also that we have good foods, that we preserve the soil, and all of these other impacts from a warming climate, which are, the shrinkage of lakes and agriculture, the destruction of soils and ecosystems. We need to do those things. And that the preservation of fisheries and all of these, which are all tied into climate, and the preservation of whales, for example, which in subtle ways also, but very, very certain but almost unmeasurable ways, are part of the overall attack on the living planet, which is really the way that we need to look at this. And there's not just a war on carbon is not going to solve the problem if we don't have a habitat left at the end. So when I talk about these issues, I rarely talk about climate. I think we need to get rid of coal and oil, but I don't say we need to do that to save the climate because it's not convincing. And even if you say, tens of thousands of scientists agree with me, people today have a good reason to not believe scientific orthodoxies or pronouncements, right? We went through that in COVID where we were told, the science, the established science that said this is all real. And there's a lot of people who are saying, yeah, but it wasn't real and it isn't real. And showing somebody a graph and saying this is what's going to happen to you if you don't behave is not a good way to get good behavior. Right? And it's going to happen to you in a long way. But the thing is that both Republicans and Democrats, I found in 40 years, love the environment.